to As Yet Untitled. This is the show with no name. We will set out, our sole ambition, in fact, is to entertain you whilst pursuing a title. We don't have any topics or agenda or plans or thoughts or any clarity in our lives. But I will come up with a title by the end. To do that, I will need some help. So please, will you welcome my guests? Welcome.
It feels like being superheroes.
Yeah, this is a conference of the galaxies. Who's here? Alice Levine is here. Alice Levine. Alice Levine still got her certificate. Alice Levine. Reginald D. Hunter, welcome. Reginald D. Hunter knows you should never meet your heroes. Jimmy Carr, welcome back, Jimmy. Jimmy Carr shouldn't go to comedy. And Davina McCall, lovely to have you here, Davina. Davina McCall, who knows the perils of plastic.
Yes.
You've all quite blended. You've done quite as if you were all on the phone about colours and tones.
We mood boarded.
Did you
Yeah,
mood
we did
board?
a little mood board, and I feel like it's really come together. So well done, everyone.
Well done,
Thanks,
everyone.
Alice. Yeah.
Well, I got on the phone and I asked my agent, I said, find out how Alan feel about different colours and shit.
I'm so glad you said that, not me.
Yeah, I just went for the salmon pink undershirt after the producer told me to wear this one.
Oh.
Sometimes a salmon pink you can disappear.
Nice with a burgundy, though. Nice
Yeah.
with a burgundy.
I did that.
Nice with a burgundy. Nice with a burgundy.
Nice
Lovely,
with the burgundy.
You
That's a
have
good
to say
early
it twice.
title. Davina, it's nice to see you.
Hi.
The last time I saw you, I was on the £1 million drop.
Oh, yes.
and
Quite
that is
stressful.
the most anxious I've ever been.
Yeah, and it's terrible because I feel awful putting all these lovely people through all of that terror, but actually, you know, you can win big.
We did end up
You
with
did.
one package of money left.
Well, one package is still quite a lot
It
of
was
money,
25
isn't it?
grand.
25 grand.
What I hadn't factored in about that programme was that there's actually £1 million in the room. There's
Actually,
an actual
yeah,
£1 million
because
of
people think
actual
it's
money.
fake.
That's one of
You've
the
been on
first
them.
things you should factor in.
No, but
There's
when
a
you
lot of
see
heavy
it,
security.
You think that it's fake. People often say, but it's not real money. It really was real money in a wodge of cash. You could flick through it, all the 50s. So people think, haha, it's fine. But when you see £1 million and you're handling £1 million, and especially when it's for charity, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's a nightmare.
And there's
It's a
great
fiction.
big burly blokes looking at you all the time.
Staring you down.
Like, at one point I thought it would be funny if I just put one of these up my jumper. No.
really.
We'll
No.
snap your arm off like a twig. For 25k.
And when you first spoke to her and you said, last time I saw you was at the Million, I thought you were about to say the Million Man March. And I was like, well, what were you and Davina doing?
The Million Man, yeah. That's us. We're the leaders of the civil rights movement here in the UK, aren't we?
Yes, we're very well known for that.
Are you making more £1 million drop? Because just as you've mentioned it there, and it is real money, I've done the show, it seems like a very easy target. As opposed to Hatton Garden.
Do you know what I was thinking, Charlie?
Like if you were gonna take
do
£1
a
million,
heist.
I'd go.
You
but
know when it's
who
there.
who do we need to get past? Davina McCall.
No,
I think we'd be all
me.
right. There's 6 of us.
No.
She's done a lot of crunches.
No, like it's... Yeah, I'm
She's got a
strong.
6-pack. but-
Right?
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
take them out with my 6-pack.
You could take me out, Davina, no
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. The other thing about it that was odd was that you go up on quite a high platform to drop the money down. So I was quite anxious about that.
Oh, did you not like heights?
I didn't like being up there, and then
Oh,
the
sure.
audience.
Did you think you were going to be on it? I
that.
feel like you've never seen it.
The audience are all quite high as well, and then you drop the money right down there, and there's 2 massive security blokes, and they're catching the money and eating it. I don't know what they're doing with it.
Putting it in the case,
I lost
safe and sound.
£450,000 on salt and vinegar crisps.
Yes, it's terrible, that.
Once you
Isn't
start,
it? When it, and
once
the
you start
thud.
going, honestly.
Yeah, they're Moorish, aren't
They really are.
What was the question?
The question was, what was the first flavoured crisp? And it was a specific manufacturer, like Golden Wonder or something like that.
Wasn't
See
that-
the
but that
silence in the room. See, imagine that.
The reason I think I know the answer to this was because it was on QI.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, Dude, it was
never
on your
listened to
show.
anything on that show.
Yeah, Steve, because the first three that they came, the first three flavours were still the most popular flavours.
Cheese and onion.
Yeah, cheese and onion,
Cheese
salt
and
and
onion was
vinegar,
the
ready
first
salted.
one.
Yeah.
Cheese and onion was the first one, and then salt and vinegar.
It's too late now.
I know.
You can say it all you want now.
A prawn cocktail they put in. I knew it wasn't that.
I don't know. Quite
That's called
partial
all
to
dressed in America, isn't it?
all
What?
dressed.
Prawn cocktail. They don't have prawn cocktail in the United States. It's called all dressed.
Oh, I didn't know about the all dressed, but I know we didn't have prawn cocktail. In fact, we don't even have prawns.
You don't have prawns?
No,
Oh.
All right.
What do you have?
shrimp.
Have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wasn't Bubba prawn shrimp?
Yeah, no. Okay.
Forrest. Anyway, it's
you go.
nice to see you.
And you.
Jimmy Carr, why shouldn't you go to comedy? Do you mean as an audience member? you
I'm a
shouldn't go?
terrible audience member at a
Are
comedy
you?
show. Well, I've got a weird laugh. You're aware. I'm sort of wired wrong. So instead of laughing on an out breath, which most people laugh on a ha-ha, it's an out breath. I laugh on an in breath. So it's a ha-ha. I'm frankly disappointed. Instead of being hung like a donkey, I laugh like one.
Do people think your laugh isn't real? Because it's so weird, your laugh.
It is odd, yeah. It's an odd thing. And actually, I didn't sort of laugh like that on television for years because I was a little bit embarrassed about it and also a bit uptight. And it's not until you sort of... It's when I'm really relaxed and I really properly laugh that I kind of let myself go, and that's the noise I make. It's not the weirdest laugh in my family. My mother was narcoleptic. So she had a narcoleptic laugh. So when you made her laugh, she would lose muscle control. She would literally just melt away. She'd make no noise and just sort of... So, which was sort of the most fun thing
She's
ever.
loving it. She's absolutely loving it.
So her
go on.
laughter would trigger narcolepsy.
Yeah, a narcoleptic response. So she'd kind of just sort of collapse.
So the Morecambe and Wise show was a disaster. Or do you have to pause it and then wait for her to come round and then show her another joke?
We
Is that
pause
why
it in
you
our
became
house.
a comedian? Yeah.
I guess it would be, yeah, probably. But then if I go and see a comedy show, so A, you notice my laugh if I laugh, but also you notice as a performer if I'm not laughing. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can normally stifle it a little bit. I went to a friend's show, probably 5 years ago now. Went to a friend's show in Edinburgh, and it was Nick Helm. You know Nick. His live show is amazing. So I was at the show and I was really stifling. I can kind of sort of keep it. If I know I'm going to be laughing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, somehow. Tawny. So I was stifling my laugh, and about 20 minutes into the show, he did an amazing bit with his band on stage, and I just I had a proper laughing fit. Like, it was lunacy.
How
Like,
do you do
But
your
isn't
laugh
that
in a
flattering?
fit? Like,
well, it's like, it sounded mental. And Nick just stopped the show. I mean, he stopped the
I
show.
thought he was being attacked by seagulls. Of course he did.
Stopped the show and looked down and went, all right, Jimmy, I don't laugh when I come to see one of your shows.
Oh, that's a very good line.
It's devastating.
That's very good.
I think it's like the best heckle I've ever had, and I wasn't doing a show.
You're in the audience.
It doesn't count.
But yours is like a statement laugh, I feel like. You know, when people have a statement wall in their house that's got some like jazzy wallpaper on it, or a statement shirt. Yours is like, I'm proud of my laugh. So do you have like a off-duty laugh? Do you have like a or like a meeting? Like I'm going to a meeting laugh. Is it always that laugh?
You're familiar with the concept of laughter, yes? It's not...
But you
I
said,
don't think anyone here is going, what sort of laugh shall I... It's a TV recorder, I might bring my good laugh.
well, that's what I thought. But then you said you didn't do it on TV for years. So what do you
Well, no,
do?
I
You
did
just
kind of
went.
start... I don't think I laughed on TV for the first 5 years. I was too busy trying to concentrate.
I like the owl. The barn owl's good. So let's go back to your mama. She got... I mean...
Well, no, feel free. You're my real dad.
But I mean, like, it must have been great as a teenager. Like, if you wanted something, and she said no, and you cracked a joke, and she just go, ooh, and you grab the keys.
Yeah, well, I had a weird thing. I had one of my best friends at university, Henry Nichols, who's a great guy, and now sort of a biologist. He's a writer about science, and he's got a narcoleptic laugh as well, but much worse. So he's got a laugh where, I remember once we were walking past our friend Zaid's room, and he was in his room, and he was just kind of doing his hair in the most sort of pretentious kind of, just looking at himself in the mirror, just thinking, I'm a beautiful man. And I laughed, my weird laugh, and Henry just hit the floor. Lost all control.
Man,
It probably became an issue. He can no longer drive a vehicle.
he has
Really?
to...
You can't, I mean, only if you got...
No, because if he's driving, if
Someone
if
says
something
something funny.
if something occurred to him that was funny, he would crash.
You can think yourself asleep?
Well, no, it's not quite asleep. You just lose muscle control.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, so
It'd be
you're-
awful.
He's okay. He takes a bunch of speed now. He's fine.
It'd be awful if he thought of something funny on the toilet.
Yeah.
That could be messy.
Or on a cliff top.
Yep. But it'd be hilarious if he thought of something funny during sex.
That's the one advantage. Yeah, if you had sort of a dodgy bedside lamp and you were having sex with an epileptic. Could be amazing.
You can watch the rest of this episode on UK TV Play. And now for some extra stories that didn't make the show. Tell you what I've noticed, if a comedian comes to see your show, they only really laugh at the bits where no one else is laughing. They laugh at the bits where it's very obvious that you're about to do a certain sort of joke and they see it coming, and they particularly laugh if you fuck something up. That's when they really, really laugh.
It's an odd thing, like what laughter is, the function of laughter. The idea that it's a social noise. It's about 1 million years older than language. Laughter.
He's an authority's written book.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking, just earlier today, I was thinking about Stephen K. Amos's laugh. And it's a big, just take over. And it's one of those, it's sort of like drinking in Britain. If you get drunk and you're really rude or really expansive, you can call the next day and go, I was drinking, and everybody goes, we know. It's forgivable. It's forgivable to just, no matter if you have a big laugh, it's just so socially acceptable.
Yeah.
It's more than anything you could say.
How do you know it's 1 million years older than language?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm just trying to think. I think it's Robert Dunbar did the research on the. It's about remote tickling. It's basically what laughter is. So the reason that we developed into sort of human beings was to do with laughter, essentially, because social groupings were about 50. So if you look at apes, their grouping is about 50. It's limited to about 50 because you only get 50 apes to groom each other. And that's how they socially interact. So they groom each other, and then they feel like, oh, this is. And once it gets beyond 50 to 60, let's say, the other 10 go, he's not really rubbed my back in ages. Let's do one. We'll start our own group. But with humans, you can remote tickle. So there's a thing called the Dunbar number, which is about 150. So you can have 150 friends, and that's because making someone laugh is remote tickling. You're grooming them. You're sort of tickling them remotely. And you're building a mainly over there, though, weirdly. So you're building kind of a larger social group, and that allows specialisation.
God, so that
I can make comedy boring. Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
So comedians want to tickle more people. The more, the better.
Without actually touching them.
Yeah.
But it's a nice
Complex
thought, though. It's my
people.
favourite quote about comedy is, laughter is the shortest distance between two people.
Oh, that's lovely.
The idea that you're trying to build, especially I think men are very bad at communicating. And we're very bad with our emotions and saying, I really like you and I really want you to like me. So you just tell each other jokes.
Or pull faces.
Or punch each other.
Farting.
Farting's amazing. Farting is
Sometimes
always
an even
funny.
shorter distance
Yeah.
between two people.
Yeah. It's always funny.
It is always funny. We're not always in a lift.
And not always when you're married for a very long time.
Is that from personal experience?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Sometimes
two
it's
real
not funny
schools of
anymore.
thought when it comes to the queef.
I think it was Dunbar that said.
Look,
You
he's gone
smelt
all
it.
like... He's
Smelt
gone
it.
all like... Yeah. Let me...
Oh, there it is!
We've got a live one.
He's off.
Now, Alice Levine, you struggle with lap etiquette.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't you?
No. Well, maybe. I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure what it is, though.
I'm probably the least sporty person around the table. My eye is caught by Davina, who is famously queen of the sports. But I do quite like swimming. That's a
Right.
good one. If you're not good at sport, like most people can float, so that's fine. And I like
Which?
swimming.
Sorry, I thought it was the 14th century briefly. My mistake. Well, no.
It's true. No, wait. If you float, you're innocent, right? If you
Oh,
sit,
it doesn't matter what you do.
Doesn't matter. Just a witch. Just a witch. Okay, fine.
If you drown,
Good.
then if
You're fine.
You're lucky.
But red hair as well. I think that's.
Oh, really? Have I got it?
I
Have
really
got
feel like
all
if, you
the
were,
telltale
if we were
signs?
living in Salem now, you would be roasting on a fire.
A floating redhead?
call the village, get them to come watch. Well, I like swimming, but I'm not great at swimming. But I like swimming in big pools, you know, like an Olympic pool. When you have 50 metres, you can just like...
There aren't many of them.
There aren't many.
Yeah.
There aren't many, but there
So
was
you're
one...
really fast.
Yes, I don't like to talk
Like
about
speedboat
how great I
Levine.
am, but people come to watch it, you know, and I'm just, you know, leisurely swimming. But yeah, this one time I was swimming when I lived in Leeds, and it's a really big pool there. It's a really nice big pool they've got. And you know how they have the lanes? So it's like, do you want to go slow anti-clockwise, medium clockwise, fast zigzag, like all these rules, and you have to decide whether you're a fast swimmer or a slow swimmer. And I feel like because we're British, people don't like to say that they're fast, but they also don't kind of want to say they're slow and rubbish. So everybody
Everyone's
goes
in
in
the
the
middle
medium lane, and it's so
It's
annoying.
like the motorway.
It's precisely.
Drives you mad.
Honestly, and yeah, exactly. And I was in the medium lane, and there was a guy ahead of me in the medium lane, and he was approximately 104 years old, probably to the day. And
Was he on his back with just his face showing? Going on?
No, he's on his front
I've
with his
seen
face
them.
in the water, just bobbing.
I was dead. Being pulled along by someone with a rope.
Yeah, and there were sirens, and I don't know what was going on. I was like, move! So I was swimming, and he's going really slow, but I'm like, he's an older guy. Like, he's probably picked the wrong lane. We've all done it at one time or another. So I didn't know what the etiquette was. Can you overtake, or is that kind of being a bit arrogant and saying, I'm going really fast and you're going really slow? So I was like, do you undertake? Do you go underneath them? And then, yeah, obviously when you say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous, but you have to make this decision in a moment. So I was like, I won't go round because he'll think that I'm, you know, being
might speed up.
disrespectful. yeah, try and beat me to the end. So I decided to go under. So he's going really slow, and I'm like, he's moving so slowly, it's like driftwood, that I don't have to go that much faster to be way clear of him.
Yeah.
So I go underneath, and classic schoolboy error, I went too deep.
Oh,
so
no.
I went quite far underneath
You
him.
gave him a wide berth.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't want to interfere.
Touching, yeah, imagine touching as well. That'd be so embarrassing.
And honestly, he was like Mr. Burns, like liver spots, and like it was like really like he
I
was.
feel bad for him. He's an older guy. He's a mermaid. He's going to think, oh no, it's all going. I checked myself into a home.
So I go really, really far underneath him, and then I kind of run out of breath. So I'm like, better get to the surface.
Yeah.
Quickly go for it.
No.
So I go up, and then I accidentally come up mid-abdomen. So I like bump into his tummy, and then I start to panic because it's like, I imagine if you're under a sheet of ice, I'm like, where's the surface of skin? I was like, ah! So then I get a bit confused and I start to panic, and I come up, but in the process I rotate and I come out of the water and I'm approximately an inch from his face. So I just go out of the water, to which he responds, he mirrors, he does the exact same reaction where he just like takes a really, really big breath, and so he starts to panic. And so I swim away because I'm like, I'll just let him compose himself, like you just do you. So I swim away. And I get to the end of the lane. It's a 50-metre pool.
You're not a great swimmer, by the way. That's all I would say. I think Mr. Burns might have it over on you.
I get to the end of the pool, and it's 50 metres, so I get to the end of the pool like half an hour later. Turn round, and he's still...
Drowning.
He's drowning. And
He's not waving.
And he died that day. No, he didn't die.
Oh my God, Alice, no!
I love the idea, though, that you popped up right in front of his face, and he thought after hitting him there, he's thinking, yeah, I still got it.
Yeah, Leeds swimming pool, 2005. If you're still out there, I'm single, so yeah. No, he didn't die. He died many days later from... No. He's fine, he's still there, probably. It's
Definitely
okay.
not.
But what did you do? He's still floundering.
Well, it was like
What
a hit and
happened?
run. I just left him. I slept. So I genuinely don't know what happened to him. He could have died. He could have died. We all could have died. He scared me as well. There's no blame here. There's no blame.
No, there's no blame. Yeah, sometimes it's scary when you swim into someone's abdomen, isn't it? Yeah. I blame them.
So would you go round? You'd know to go round?
I'd go round.
Totally go
Yeah,
round.
me too.
You've
That's
never
what
gone
I'm
under.
saying. That's the
I mean, even if you got
problem.
it right, you'd kick him in the face.
But you said about the speeding up, that happens.
Yeah, people speed
That
up.
absolutely happens because I don't really swim. I'm not a very good swimmer, but I did have to train for this sport relief thing, and I had to do a lot of swimming. And we had the lanes, and people speed up when you try and overtake, which is a nightmare because then you're really, really out of breath, but you've got to try and maintain the speed when
Yeah.
you've gone in front. I was like...
This was like the Fast and the Furious in a swimming pool. Like, when you're just trying, like, where do you position?
I'll go under.
Do you not think?
You would never go under.
No, I wouldn't go
Never
under.
go under.
Well, not after that story.
No, no.
It hasn't actually turned me off the undertaking, but I would wear goggles next time so that I had a more the gauge.
You'd go on your back.
But I still think it was the more respectful option.
My kids push me under in the pool, and they don't realise that too long is dangerous. So I've nearly blacked out a couple of times.
How long is too long?
Well, I mean, anything more than 30 seconds, I need to get up to
Yeah.
I mean, 30 seconds, I think, is about my own
But
limit.
do you resort to violence in the end of just like throwing everybody out of the way?
In the end, you do have to
Yeah.
emerge, with however many of them are hanging onto your hair. Going, go under! Go under! I'm drowning! I'm fucking drowning! Swear at them. Oh, fuck. Always swearing
Like
at
the,
kids.
you know, the day where they used to get all the floats out at school. So there'd be like those huge
day. They were
float day,
great
International
days.
Float Day.
Amazing.
But it was a
What?
death trap. If you got wedged under one of those floats, you are not leaving on that school bus, are
What are
you?
you talking about?
Float day.
Float day.
Float day.
Oh, float day.
Float day.
Float day.
Float day.
Are you with me? I have no idea what float day is.
I just
What is
smile.
float
Reg,
day?
float day.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Float day. Float day.
Are you talking about the big floats that you can stand on?
There was big floats you could stand on. There were like miniature, medium floats. All the float. It's float day, guys. It's the best flotation
Fun
day
time
in the calendar.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noodles?
Noodles galore. It was like a big bowl of ramen in there. It was great. You've never. Did you go to a posh school? Did you not go to like the swimming baths?
No, I didn't go to a posh school, but we didn't have a pool, I don't think. But there was definitely no float day.
But did you go?
I've never been a float day without a pool. There would have been
be
some
weird.
bullshit going on there. That's just a field, isn't it?
Did you go for swimming lessons at a big like leisure centre somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, and then was there one day at the end of term, let's call it float day, where where they got all the floats out?
No, I didn't go swimming. I don't think with the school. I think.
Did you say you were like on your period, so you couldn't go? there was always somebody who couldn't swim, obviously.
Yeah. I see.
Was that you?
Sorry, sir. Got the menzies.
Well, I think you would love float day. You seem like the kind of guy that would love float
I'd be
day.
into it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Huge. No idea what's going on.
Don't say huge. Yeah, huge.
Huge. Huge.
No, I never had float day. Did you?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I did. Well, they open the big cupboard of floats,
big
chuck them all in
cupboard
the
of
pool, and
floats,
everybody
yeah.
goes mad. But it is a death trap.
I feel
You're
like the world's
absolutely
gone
right.
mad today, Davina,
I
because
feel like
people
the
are
world's gone
pretending
mad
they
because
don't
I'm
know about
thinking, like,
float day.
what about float day?
Did you two go to girls' schools?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
You watch too much stuff online.
And it wasn't on the sign. You know how you're not allowed to have bombing or heavy petting or...
Bumming? Oh, bombing!
You said that like
She said bumming.
They've banned bumming.
Well, you wouldn't think
These
you
are
need
the
to-
worst baths in Britain.
I don't think you need to ban it, would you? No injecting heroin in the deep end. I mean, there's some things you don't feel like you have to say.
But you feel like heavy... What
No
even was
sodomy.
heavy petting?
What's heavy petting? I think it's.
Fondling on the outside.
On the outside?
Kissing with
God.
tongues.
Bringing a polar bear with a leash.
Yeah, finally someone said it.
Okay, so none of that. But then I feel like bumming would come under heavy petting, wouldn't it? So,
I think you've moved beyond petting.
Yeah. If you're bumming, you're not petting.
yeah, fair
Yeah.
dues.
If you're bumming, you're not petting. Could that be a title?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna. No, thank you. It's a good point. I'll drop that down.
Suddenly, our first one seems so tame.
I can't even read what I wrote there.
Nice.
Nice with a what?
With the burgundy.
Oh, nice with a.
Yeah.
No, it's been
Suddenly it
superseded by
seems-
if you're bumming, you're not petting.